waking you up each morning.
It wakes me up in the morning.
David Croyle on WTYM Katanning.
There's no business like show business.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
All systems go.
Good morning.
Prepare to be astonished.
Ba-do-da-da. Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar. You can listen with your whole family.
Is this the morning show you were dreaming about? Go back to sleep.
I enjoy that type of radio.
It is a group of people brought together because they share a common belief in what government should be like.
We don't need your education. We don't need your thought control.
That's a talent.
He's wacky, he's zany, wacky and zany. It's another wacky and zany show.
Good morning, Armstrong County. I'm David Croyle. Welcome to David and Friends at 8 past the hour, 9 o'clock right now. Glad to have you with us live on WTYM AM 1380, FM 103.7. 30 degrees on the outside, going up to a high of 47 today. Not too shabby as far as some sunshine for most of the day until we get toward the evening hours. Then it's going to cloud up a little bit. But actually, all of today should be, except it's going to be cool. That's the rough part. And then by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, we should be having some showers. A high tomorrow of only 45, then a low tomorrow night of 30. And so we'll see if those showers, they're not saying it's going to turn to snow. They were originally, but now they pulled that back. So we'll see how that all happens. It just puts us into position for the weekend whenever this is a unique weekend because you kind of have 2 days of Veterans Day instead of one. You have the actual day that occurs on Sunday, November the 11th. And then you have the next day when most people are going to celebrate the holiday of Veterans Day. So it's kind of a different kind of a thing. But on Sunday, on the actual day, November the 11th, they're doing something in Armstrong County that's called the annual Veterans Day Flag Relay across Armstrong County. And it's done with Team Red, White, and Blue, the Armstrong County chapter. So I'm talking this morning with a volunteer of that Armstrong County chapter. It's Michael Nanney. So, Michael, good morning. Glad to have you with us.
Good morning, Dave. Thank you for inviting me.
Let's talk a little bit about this because I had heard about it but really didn't know too much about it, and I want to know a little bit more. So what is this flag relay? Describe it for me.
Sure. About 10 years ago, a retired veteran from Armstrong County began an event where we relayed a flag all the way across Armstrong County. It's along the rails to trails, so it will cover in excess of 30 miles on Sunday morning, Veterans Day, carrying Old Glory. It started out with, as I said, this retired veteran who wants to remain anonymous, getting a group together, and then Team Red, White, and Blue, which is a national organization supporting veterans, got involved, and we have carried on that mission now 10 years later. This Sunday will be the 10th anniversary of this event.
Now, this takes about how many people to actually do this?
So it's varied over the years, Dave, in terms of how much participation we can obtain from the volunteers, the participants. This year we're going to have between 1 and 2 dozen members of Team Red, White, and Blue who will be carrying the Old Glory and relaying Old Glory across Armstrong County.
So people that do this, now you've done it, basically this is members of Indiana, Armstrong, and Westmoreland counties supporting this event?
That's correct. We actually have Allegheny County members who will be joining us also, and it's all volunteers who think it's important to recognize our veterans, and this is their way, some are civilians and some are veterans, of contributing to awareness of Veterans Day within a community.
Now, with regards to Team Red, White, and Blue, for that organization, what is the underlying reason for existence?
So it was formed by a group of civilians and veterans many years ago, and there are a number of veteran support groups out there. This one believes in connecting veterans to their community through both physical and social activities. So it's a very active chapter of Team Red, White, and Blue in the Pittsburgh area that has multiple events per week, whether they be runs, hikes, rucks. They also do social events, dinners, bowling, those kind of things, and trying to engage both the civilian community and veterans in awareness of the veterans' issues and the concerns. I mean, as we all recognize, or the statistics state, it's 22 veterans a day die from suicide, David. You think about that, in the course of this next hour of your program, another veteran will have committed suicide. So we all have an obligation as civilians, as members of this community, to raise the awareness and to do the right things for the veterans in our community. This is one of the venues, one of the opportunities that our veterans have through Team Red, White, and Blue to connect again with the community, develop a sense of camaraderie through these physical and social activities, and hopefully improve their life and enrich their lives.
Now, how long does it take to actually travel this 30 miles through Armstrong County? And you're using the rails to trails, the hiking trail, right?
That's correct. So we actually will start before sunrise tomorrow, or Sunday morning, start about 5:30, be done around 11 a.m. up on Red Bank Creek. So you're looking at 5.5, 6 hours altogether through these groups of folks who will jog. They will be carrying the flag the entire distance and relaying that flag across the entire county.
Okay, so you start southern, you're going northern, and you're about how far does one person carry that flag before the next person takes over?
So great question. We have varying levels of participation. There's some runners who they're new to running and not aggressive, if you will, and are going to run maybe 2.5 miles. Some veteran runners who can log the distance will be going 10 miles, 9 or 10 miles on Sunday themselves carrying a flag. And it'll always be at least 2 people at any time so they can help trade off the flag just to work as a team and carry that flag over that long distance.
Now, how long have you personally been doing this?
I've been doing about 6 years involved in this particular event. There are 2 major events that Team Red, White, and Blue in Armstrong County is engaged in. One is a 9/11 Remembrance 5K, and then the Veterans Day jog across Armstrong County, flag relay across Armstrong County, in addition to our support of events in Indiana, Westmoreland, and the adjoining counties.
Okay, so you'll definitely be running right through Kittanning.
We will. We'll be coming up the trail through Ford City, Manorville, and then up through Kittanning. And that will be early Sunday morning when most folks are getting up and getting their coffee. So if you're out and about, running to get your donuts or your coffee, and you see the group carrying a flag, please acknowledge them and give them the honk. That helps motivate them.
Yeah, those that are watching us on the internet right now at WTYMradio.com, you're watching us, and you're seeing a photo from the 2017 event. And these are Armstrong County residents Andy Gallagher and Rory Hull and Cody Flanders and Travis Reisman as they were participating last year. And so these events are important, regardless which event you're going to, what event you're doing over the weekend between Sunday and Monday. And there are events happening even today in our schools. A lot of the schools are having Veterans Day programs today or tomorrow, and mostly today because a lot of the schools are taking off at least a half a day tomorrow. And but what else can be done? If the average person going to church on Sunday morning, getting out, like you said, having coffee Sunday morning, whatever, what can the average person do to celebrate Veterans Day with regards to other veterans that they may come in contact with, Michael?
Well, sure. I think the point you brought up, David, is excellent, that the Armstrong schools are very supportive. The kids today, I believe in every school, have a Veterans Day assembly where they will take time and play music for and honor the veterans within our community. What we tend to do as people on this little blue ball is recognize what's really important at holiday. You know, Christmas, we get together as family and recognize that as a special day, and Thanksgiving, whereas in truth, we should be recognizing every day as a blessing and every day as a chance to connect with family. The same goes for Veterans Day. A lot of activities will go on Sunday and Monday to recognize veterans. Our role as members of this community and as members of this country, as citizens, is to recognize veterans every day. So think about those that you know who are veterans, whether it was from way back, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, or whether they are more recent veterans. And is there something else you can do for them in a community? Is there some way you can help them? If there's a disabled veteran who lost a limb during a combat, is there something you can do within your community to help them? And then the American Legion and some of the local organizations are committed to that, doing that every day, every week, and encourage the citizens of Armstrong County to do the same.
All right. And, of course, whenever you come across the veteran, I think the very important thing to do is thank them. I mean, we don't want it to become trite, but there's no doubt that without our veterans, without our military, we could not have a country that we have today. And so it's so very, very important that they deserve our honor and our respect, and so we want to be able to do that. Anything else you want to tell us about the Team Red, White, and Blue and this relay, this Armstrong County, well, it's through Armstrong County, the Veterans Day Flag Relay Program?
No, I think we covered all the important parts. Again, the community support. If you see members of Team Red, White, and Blue out jogging, carrying that flag, relaying that flag on Sunday morning, please acknowledge them. And if you want more information, if you're a veteran or a civilian and you want to support Team Red, White, and Blue, whether it's through physical activities or other involvement, there's a website, teamrwb.org, which you can look up additional information on Team Red, White, and Blue. Or there's a Pittsburgh chapter of Team Red, White, and Blue on Facebook, and you can just search that up and get additional information. Encourage, for veterans, former members of the military, and also civilians who wish to support this to reach out and become more involved in their community.
Michael Nanney, he's a volunteer with the Armstrong chapter of the Team Red, White, and Blue. Thank you so much, Michael, for being with us. I appreciate it.
David, thank you for giving us the opportunity to share this important message with citizens of Armstrong County.
All right.
Have a blessed day.
19 past the hour. We'll be right back.
Pens fall on a late goal. Good morning. This is Sports from Radio PA. TJ Oshie scored with 1:14 left in the game, and the Washington Capitals knocked off the Penguins in D.C. last night. 2-1 was the final. Casey DeSmith gave up the game-winning goal.
I was kind of looking around the short side because Ovechkin was in front, tied up with somebody. I was a little flat-footed there, so I didn't get a good read and a good pushover. I definitely could have gotten closer to that one if I made a little bit better read, I think.
That's 5 straight losses for Pittsburgh. The Pens will host Arizona on Saturday. The Philadelphia Flyers will look to sweep a home-and-home series tonight. Torrey Gates has the preview.
Philadelphia faces off against the Arizona Coyotes at the Center. The Flyers are coming off a 3-0-1 road trip out west, including a 5-2 win over the Coyotes in Phoenix Monday. The recent success put the Flyers at 7-7-1 on the season with 15 points and in a multi-team tie for second place in the Metropolitan Division. Arizona is 7-6 and in the middle of a competitive Pacific Division. I'm Torrey Gates.
On the hard court, the Sixers picked up a road win last night, 194 in Indiana. Both teams are now 7-5. Philadelphia returns home to host the Charlotte Hornets on Friday night. The Steelers are in action tonight, a Thursday night clash with Carolina. Pittsburgh has won 4 straight after a rough start to the season, and quarterback Ben Roethlisberger says no one in the locker room was reaching for the panic button in September.
We've had a lot of the same guys here for a long time, so there was no panic in this room early in the season. That's what we got a good chuckle out of you guys panicking and the outside world panicking, but for us it was just a matter of playing the next week.
Kickoff tonight is 8:20 p.m., and the University of Maryland has fired 2 trainers that were involved in the treatment of Jordan McNair after he collapsed on the field and subsequently died of heat stroke. That's sports. I'm Brad Chrisman.
I'm Eric Lawburn. I'd like to talk some more about addiction. You may know that a recent survey of county residents found that some people had some pretty harsh things to say about addiction. A few people said things like, let's apply survival of the fittest. Addiction is a choice, not a disease, and let them die. Friends, we're not going to solve this problem with words like these. Fortunately, those people were in the minority. Yes, substance use disorder starts off with some bad decisions, but it gets worse gradually, and there is no magical moment when you suddenly have this disease. Fortunately, many people do get help. The medical community widely supports treatments such as Vivitrol, methadone, or Suboxone, and many people do get into recovery. We have to change the stigma associated with this disease. Go to the website talkaboutaddiction.tv to learn more and hear your neighbors' stories, and call the crisis line at 877-333-2470 if you or someone you know needs help. Recovery is possible for everyone, and prevention is only possible if we talk about it. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.